Welcome guys to another video. Today we're gonna be talking about engraving. We're gonna cover two most common engraving styles, which is gonna be your X and C, which is gonna be your face or edge, and this one does follow the radius of the part. So your engraving, it's gonna be a little bit rounded. It's gonna follow that the part of that let's say radius. So if your part is 2 inches and you're gonna engrave it at, let's say right at the top, let's call it 1 inch 800, so your engraving will be done at 0.9. It's gonna follow that radius or that edge of outside of the part. If you would go with X and Y, which are not covering in this video, this is where you're gonna just get that straight number or letter, and that's gonna be, like I said, this is not gonna follow the pattern. It depends on the customer blueprint or whatever you're trying to do, similar to your X and Z. So X and Z will give you nice uniform across the part because it's gonna use the C as a rotation, and you're gonna have nice uniform letters or numbers across your length. If you use Z and Y, you're gonna find that the middle, and that also depends on the radius. If it's a smaller part, it's gonna be more visible, where the middle it's gonna go deeper and the edges are gonna be a little bit finer. So Z and C for outside are gonna be your common, usually most of the time best option, and X and C, that's gonna be for your face, unless you need that straight lettering or numbers, and then you would use X and Y. Outside of that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I try to be as clear and informative, and like I said, I've done 2 videos to show you both of the options. Thank you, and see you next time. Welcome guys. So I've done a video previously on engraving. So we'll just do a video, particular one. This is going to be an engraving Z-axis and C-axis to rotate, because the machine will rotate the part to go all around the part versus just on a depth. And so we do have a part. The part diameter is 1 inch and 125,000. So you're gonna split that in half, obviously. I already made a program, but just to show you, insert, when you go in the line programming, the text that's going to be at the end, okay? So you go to the line when you want to engrave. Okay, I'm going to erase this. Okay, so we have our Z, so it's going to go this way, and C is going to rotate. You put your text over here, the height of the text, so I got it as 120,000, how deep you want it to engrave. And now you have your tools. So the tools, they have an option: it's end mill, face mill, chamfer, ball, and center. So I use usually center, number 1. So it's actually very tiny. As you see, milling holder, 3/4 callet with a thin as center drill. A carbide, and these are usually you can make your engraving very thin and very shallow. That actually looks very, very nice. Okay, so we have a center drill. Okay, your speed, so I put about 60, feed rate about 2000 feed rate, and then I do my line. Okay, so my line is technically, what you can do is you can take 125,000 or 100, oh sorry, 1 inch and 125. You can do 1 inch and 130 and whatnot. You know, cut it in half. What am I starting? So this section goes to about 640,000. So I pushed it a little bit further. So my starting is going to be at 800. So it's going to be somewhere here. Okay, my pitch. So the pitch is going to be how much space do you want between the letters. Okay, so my pitch is going to be 40,000 between the letters. Angle. So if you're doing a face and whatnot, or you have a keyway, if you want to do like a 90 angle from the keyway, this is where you put it. And now number 1, okay, you see text position center, top, or bottom. What that means, imagine you have a part here, okay, and let's say, to call it 6 inches, and you have an sorry, and you have an engraving, so 6 inches, and they want the part to be exactly at 3 inches, right? So it has to be center. So let's say engraving would be shit. Okay, this is gonna be your center. So for the center, okay, you're gonna use the number 0. Like I have 1. Let's say if, and let's just say center is 0, top is gonna be 1, bottom it's 2. So if they would want it on top of it, then you pick 1, and your shit, it comes out right on top of the line. If it's a bottom, then you press 2, and your shit is run underneath the line. So that's what this means. Center 0, top 1, bottom 2. So you have a line, so technically this dimension, okay, and it asks you, do you want the center? So right here, the top and the bottom. This is what you do. And we're gonna run it. Okay, everything is good. I have my center drill, all is picked. It's gonna get a little bit loud because of the hissing. And we have our part number engraved. So very simple to engrave. When I come across engraving on different axes, like for example on the face and whatnot, I'll post another video. But remember very clearly, okay? You have, sorry, I keep doing that. 2-inch part, right? 2-inch diameter. So you have your text, Z and C, as we know. You put your text over here, so whatever you need to do. The height of the letters, sometimes it's specified, sometimes it's not, but 120 to even a quarter, that's not a problem usually. It depends how big the part is. The depth, you can do 5,000. Always go on an offset a little bit higher or further away from the part to see how it looks. Your tooling, and like I said, the part is 2 inches. Your RX is gonna be 1 inch, okay, cut in half. Your C, it's gonna depend on if you have any other features. They want the engraving be, let's say, next to it. Usually, if that's all I'm doing, it's gonna be a 0. Where to start? I'm starting at 800 away from from the face, from the start of the part. I'm sorry. The difference between the letters, which is the 40,000, and like I said, and right here we're gonna be at the top. Now you can go to Program, Toolpath, press the part. Okay, let me see, scale change. I don't know if it's gonna show because it's on top, but as you see, these are all my grooves, and these are the letters. You can technically make, so if you're not sure, if you if you're not sure if you have a good enough distance from here to here to make sure this is clear, you can just make a dummy program, or just pull out the program that you already done, and it will show you the clearance. So let me do that, okay, for you guys. Program, edit, control. Okay, so I had a OD turning. Okay, I'm gonna apply it to get rid of it. Program, toolpath, part, and as you see, now I see that OD turning that I've done. I see the grooves that I'm gonna be doing, and I see that the distance between this side and not coming across the radius, it's perfect. So if I want, I can even shift it a little bit, and I just eyeball it. I can make the letters bigger, I can make the pitch bigger, and I still be like right in the middle. So what do you call it? So there's, like I said, like sometimes if you're not sure if you're gonna clear something, make even a dummy program, put it out on toolpath, and what do you call it, and then you'll see if if everything looks good. If you're not sure about the distance, like I said, as you see, this matches exactly with this line, so I know I didn't go too low, and you know, and that will get you at least, you know, that's a good starting point. And then always raise your offsets, you know, run it and then lower it down till it starts to engrave, because when you're engraving, if you go 3-4 thousandths even too deep, it's gonna make a lot of mark. And I've done it before when I was engraving these letters. Then I saw actually the center would drag into the line, into a number, into a number, into a number, and such. Okay, so that you can control with the depth of the engraving. But I usually engrave maybe about 100 or 2,000 deep, so the machine kind of gives me enough clearance. Like I said, it's just an experience, it's a tryout, but always starts a little bit higher, and it's better to start with a minimum. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Welcome, guys. So today, this video, I'm gonna be talking about engraving on the face. As you see, a part number here. So because I wanted to get it, you know, nice and uniformly done between the holes, I had to kind of mess with the seat position of it. So this is the program for the text. So this text line is going to be on a XC, okay, and text as usually here. The height of the text 160,000, 5,000 depth. This you can control with your Z offsets. Center jewel edge, so as always 0.1, so I use number 1. Center carbide, your speeds and your feeds. And this is counterclockwise arc, 0.75, that means the diameter. This one is going to be at 1.5 inches, 14 degrees on a C, so I had to perfectly kind of set it up to where it's landing between here and here. So this C starts at 14 degrees. And this hole is obviously a 0. Starting point Z, pitch is 40, and Q, as remember the position, so I position it as a top. So technically, this is how it looks, and this is how it's rough. So I think it's time. This is going about 2,000 deep. And as you see, this is plenty to give you like a nice thin lines. Just a little bit of depthness, because deeper you're gonna go, fatter these letters they become. Usually I don't have a call out for how deep they want to go. So once again, for face, the mode is gonna be XC. This is gonna be arc, so that means arc you can go around, or sometimes you can make them flat too. So the distance between the center and this one, so half the diameter, so 1.5 inches divided by 2. The T degrees, starting point is Z. And what we can do, let's call this, and this is how I made the adjustments to where everything fits perfectly. 0.7. So technically, I just look at those holes in between, and I kept switching the C position to where it seems like it's pretty uniformly right in the middle of those two. And same thing is with the position at the end of the program. As you see in here, you can mess with 0, 1, 2 to whatever you're liking or whatever the customer is asking for. And so this is where you make adjustments. All right, guys, engraving on a face. See you next time.